showing every animal fatality thing in Mortal Kombat. First, we start with starting with Noob Saibot.
New Cybot. Sub-Zero. Janet Cage. Madam Gold. Living Forest.
I'm gonna be quiet for the whole video, so let me go ahead and do this stuff.
Finish him.
Noob Saibot turns into a crocodile and conjures a shadow crocodile. They bite each of the victims' legs and rip their body apart down the middle.
Animality. Noob Saibot wins. Cyrax. Sub-Zero. 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 Dark Cotton Colony. Finish him.
Cyrax turns into a huge wasp. She pierces the victim's torso with her stinger and their head bubbles with venom until it bursts apart. The stinger bisects their headless torso.
Animality. Cyrax wins. Ermac. Sub-Zero. 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 The Flesh Pits. Finish him.
Ermac turns into a locust swarm that spirals around the victim, shredding their skin and flesh until they become a gore-drenched skeleton.
Animality. Ermac wins. Kitana. Sub-Zero. 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 Sundo. Finish him.
Kitana transforms into a large hummingbird before impaling the victim with a flurry of beak strikes. Their body unpeels into 4 segments, and she sips their spurting blood.
Animality. Kitana wins. Melina. Sub-Zero. 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 Temple of Kataravala. Finish him.
Melina transforms into an orchid mantis. She gobbles the victim's head with her mandibles, spraying gory pulp everywhere. She uses her forelegs to rip them in half.
Animality. Melina wins. Tanya. Sub-Zero. 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 Havoc Citadel. Finish.
Tanya turns into a giraffe, bites the victim, then slams them repeatedly into the ground. Their limbs pop off and their blood bursts with each impact.
Animality. Tanya wins. Rain. Sub-Zero. 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 Living forest. Finish him.
Rain shapeshifts into a pufferfish. He burrows down the victim's throat until he inflates in their torso. The victim bursts into a cloud of viscous blood.
Animality. Rain wins. Smoke. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. The Fire Temple. Sub-Zero. Finish.
Smoke turns into a gorilla, then wrenches the victim apart by their jaw. Streaks of blood burst from their chest and fly through the air.
Animality. Smoke wins. Scorpion. Sub-Zero. 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 Shang Tsung's laboratory. Finish him.
Scorpion transforms into an armored scorpion. He drags the victim close to puncture them with his stinger, then flings them up to slice them in half with a pencil.
Animality. Scorpion wins. Reptile. Sub-Zero. 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 The maze. Finish him.
Reptile transforms into a Venus flytrap, then shoots out a prehensile tongue to snag the victim. He snaps his saw-toothed mouth closed several times, crushing him to pieces.
Animality. Reptile wins. Sub-Zero. 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 Hanging Gardens. Finish him.
Sub-Zero turns into a mammoth, gores the victim with his tusk, then rips them in half with his trunk as blood surges from their torso.
Animality. Sub-Zero wins. Lee May. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Corrupted Forest. Sub-Zero. Finish him.
Lee May turns into a panda, gently rolls toward the victim, then bites their arm off. They fall, and Lee May sits on their head, popping it while idly chewing on their arm.
Animality. Lee May wins. Kenshi. Sub-Zero. 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 Hanging Gardens. Finish him.
Kenshi plunges his swords into the ground, turning into a wolf as he summons a spirit wolf. They rabidly bite out chunks of the victim, then clamp their jaws on both sides of them before slowly ripping them apart, making blood fountain from their chest.
Animality. Kenshi wins. Baraka. Sub-Zero. 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 The Tea House.
Baraka turns into a giant porcupine. He throws the victim upward and shoots quills at him. They fall onto his back, skewered on his quills.
Animality. Baraka wins. Gearus. Sub-Zero. 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 The Fire Temple. Finish him.
Kiras belly flops, then emerges as a huge hippo. He chomps the victim, bursting them into a shower of gore.
Animality. Gearus wins. Omni-Man. Sub-Zero. 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 The Hourglass. Finish him.
Omni-Man turns into a colossal tentacle-faced monster, then smashes the victim with a clawed hand before scooping them into his maw. He bites onto their waist and yanks them apart with a tentacle, making their guts spill out with a shower of blood.
Omni-Man wins. Peacemaker. Booyah! Sub-Zero. 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 The Fire Temple. Finish him.
Peacemaker turns into an eagle. He and Eagly swoop and wing slice the victim's legs off. Peacemaker blasts them with assault rifles before Eagly explodes them with a grenade. Peacemaker stands on their skull as Eagly flies past with a USA flag.
Peacemaker wins. Ghostface. Sub-Zero. 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 Dark Cotton Colony. Finish him.
Ghostface transforms into a condor, then dives at the victim. He shreds their chest with his hooked beak before ripping their spine out through the bloody cavity.
Animality. Ghostface wins.
Who is this?
T-1000. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, the hourglass. Finish him.
The T-1000's liquid metal morphs into a German Shepherd in a police dog vest. He clamps his jaws onto the victim's forearm, throwing them to the ground as he wrenches it off. He bites and yanks their head off, taking their spine with it.
Animality. T-1000 wins. Sector. Sub-Zero. 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 Temple of Kataravala.
Sector turns into a rhino and rams the victim. She shoves them across the ground, scraping off their skin, then stomps their torso.
Animality. Sector wins. Takeda. Sub-Zero. 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 Night Market. Finish him.
Takeda leaps into a hole in the ground filled with water and turns into a kraken. He yanks the victim into the water with a tentacle, twists them apart, then chomps their upper body with his beak.
Animality. Takeda wins. Shang Tsung. Sub-Zero. 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 The Maze. Finish him.
Shang Tsung turns into a huge cobra, constricts the victim and chomps their head, making blood launch from their rendered neck as they flop to the ground.
Animality. Shang Tsung wins. General Shock. Shang Tsung. General Shao. Liu Kang. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Ying Fortress. Finish him.
General Shao transforms into a grizzly bear. He lopes forward to swipe his claws at the victim, then clamps his jaws into their back while thrashing them around. He sinks his teeth into their head, crushing it.
Animality. General Shao wins. Sindel. Sub-Zero. 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 Temple of Kataravala. Finish him.
Sindel turns into a huge tarantula, plunges her fangs into the victim's skull, then pulls herself up by a web from her abdomen. She hangs upside down, then tears their body in half before letting them fall.
Animality. Sindel wins. Draco. Sub-Zero. 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 Ying Fortress. Finish him.
Draco transforms into a ram with huge curved horns. He knocks the victim back with a forceful charge. As they vomit blood, Draco's second charge carves straight through them.
Animality. Draco wins. Raiden. Sub-Zero. 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 Ying Fortress. Finish him.
Raiden transforms into a huge electric eel before constricting the victim, flooding them with electricity until their head erupts in a fountain of blood, spewing bits of skull and brain.
Animality. Raiden wins. Liu Kang. Sub-Zero. 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 The Fire Temple. Finish him.
Liu Kang turns into a giant phoenix and wraps his wings around the victim. An inferno engulfs them, reducing them to a huge pile of ash and bones. Liu Kang bursts from the ash in a pillar of fire.
Animality. Liu Kang wins. Johnny Cage. Sub-Zero. 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 The Gateway. Finish him.
Johnny Cage stands with the victim on a film set and dons a shark costume as a clapperboard appears. Now in the ocean, Johnny is a great white shark who chomps the victim, making them burst into bloody chunks.
Animality. Johnny Cage wins. Kung Lao. Sub-Zero. 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 The Flesh Pits. Finish him.
Kung Lao turns into a tiger and bites onto the victim's head before thrashing them. He lets go, and as their eyes shift in their skinned face, he sinks his fangs into their spine and rips it out.
Animality. Kung Lao wins. Ashura. Sub-Zero. 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 Havoc Citadel. Finish him.
Ashura transforms into a winged unicorn and teleports behind the victim before impaling their head with her horn and exhaling a torrent of rainbow fire over their writhing body until they're a charred husk.
Animality. Ashura wins. Nitara. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. The Chaosium Sub-Zero. Finish him!
Nitara turns into a giant vampire bat and snatches the victim. Later, she hangs upside down with the victim wrapped in her wings. Nitara gouges out their eye sockets with her fangs, then bites off their head in large chunks.
Animality. Nitara wins. Havoc. Sub-Zero. 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 Ying Fortress. Finish him.
Havoc mutates into a rotting hyena and pounces on the victim's torso. Blood gushes out as he wrenches out their intestines, then chews on one.
Animality. Havoc wins. Quan Chi. Sub-Zero. 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 The Tea House. Finish him.
Quan Chi transforms into a T-Rex skeleton before flinging the victim into the air with his jaws, catching them and chomping them into chunks that slide into his ribcage.
Animality. Quan Chi wins. Homelander. Sub-Zero. 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 Dark Cotton Colony. Finish him.
Homelander turns into a red, white, and blue griffin, then hurls the victim upward. He cleaves them at the waist with his talons, then shoots lasers from his eyes until they explode into a shower of fried flesh globs.
Animality. Homelander wins. Conan. Sub-Zero. 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 Corrupted Forest. Finish him.
Conan throws his sword, then transforms into an ancient bull. He charges, spears the victim's head with a horn, then bucks while slamming their body around. He spins to slice them along the blade of his sword where it is lodged in the ground.
Animality. Conan wins.
Finally on the last one. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. If you really enjoyed it, you can subscribe right now. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.